What's going on, and welcome to your first official episode of Vibing with JT. That's me. So, on this channel, I'll basically be talking about reviews, mukbangs, and all types of stuff. But this is my first official episode, and I want you guys to get to know me and understand who I am, why am I doing this, and where I'm from. Basically like a little backstory. And I want to also get used to talking on the camera and interacting with you guys. I'm 35 years old. I have a 6-year-old son, and I have a beautiful wife. All the haters, that's for you. All right. I'm gonna be honest right now. Not to be too personal, but I literally can't feel my ass right now. No Diddy. But I literally cannot feel my ass right now. And the reason I cannot feel my ass right now is because I just came in from my doctor's appointment in Queens. More or less, I had a injection in my lower back due to something that happened at work. I don't really want to get into that too much, but I could break the ice a little bit. Basically, I was at work, but I feel like I'm jumping. Like, I don't even let you really know who I am, but so I don't want to jump too much. I'm 35 years old, JT. I'm married. I have a 6-year-old son. Beautiful family. I just feel like I'm kind of all over the place, and I'm not really like hitting them spots that I'm supposed to be hitting. But am I supposed to be hitting them spots? I don't know. I know with the wife I'm supposed to be hitting those spots, but I don't know if I'm supposed to be hitting them spots with you guys. Real talk. But our son uses a wheelchair. All right. He's 6 years old, very smart, very intelligent. But Avery, he just uses a wheelchair because he has something called RYR1, which is a rare neuromuscular disorder that he has. And my wife and I are both carriers of that trait. Yeah, it's kind of strange. It's weird how you grow up, you fall in love with someone, and then when it's time to have kids, you're a carrier of a trait of a gene mutation, and then your partner is also the carrier of the same gene mutation. Like, it's just weird. Like, is that is that uh is that common? Does that is that something that normally happens? Because growing up and we watch movies and TV shows, it seems like when a couple get married and they decide to have a family, it just seems so easy and so fun, you know, like a fairy tale. But when you actually walking through it, it's different. Like, it's scary. It's real. You know, it's not a fairy tale. It's real. But I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But I'ma most likely chop this video up and edit it the way I want to edit everything and put it in order. But yes, we lived in the Bronx for 10 years, and we had our son. He's 6 years old now. All right, but before we had our 6-year-old son, we had two other children. All right, our first child name is Emily. Excuse me. Our first child name is Emily. She would be 13 years old, and we had our second son, which is Jamel Jr., and he would be 12 years old. So when we had our daughter, she was born at Mount Sinai in Manhattan, across the street from Central Park. Real nice park. But she was born at Sinai. She stayed in the NICU for about 4 months. Yep, I remember that. She stayed in the NICU for about 4 months. And at that time, I had a job working with Academy Buses. I'm not too sure if you're familiar with the area, but I did work with a company called Academy Buses at the Jacob Javits Center. That was like my first job. And the only reason I got that job is because my mother's boyfriend at the time was a supervisor. And I didn't have anything to do for the summer, so they allowed me to come into work and, to start making my own money. So I did that for some time, okay? I did that for some time, and, My wife and I been together since she was 13 and I was 14. They don't make them like that no more. So if you listen real quick, fellas, if you got somebody good, and ladies, if you have somebody real good, make sure y'all hold on to that because those days don't exist no more. We see it all day, every day. You know what I'm talking about. So if y'all got somebody good in your life, hold on to that person because they do not make them like that no more. Everybody is about a bag. You feel me? And believe me, when I first got with my wife, I had no bag. I still have no bag. I remember we would go to the store and I would have literally $2. $2. And I'll give my wife $1 and I'll keep $1 for myself. Excuse me. I'll get like two oatmeal pies and some chips or some cookies. Cause back in the days everything was 50 cents. You feel me? With maybe a little juice. And then she would get whatever she wanted. She would like Sour Patches or like, like Starburst or Skittles, something sweet. She always like real sweet candy, but she don't like candy no more. But it's okay. Moral of the story, if you have a loved one that you hold close, or even a friend that you hold close and you're in a relationship with them, hold on to that person. Hold on to that person as tight as you can and get through whatever you're going through. Because believe me, whatever you're going through, it might seem like it's tough. But if you decide to leave that relationship and start something else, you just opening yourself for something way worse. Because these days, it's no love. It's no real love. Everything is about what can you do for me? What can I gain from you? How can you elevate me? That's what today is. Unfortunately, but it's just the truth. But not to get off topic. Back to our kids. Yeah, Emily would be 13 years old. She was born at Sinai. She lived there. She was in the NICU for about 4 months. Now the NICU is the newborn intensive care unit. That's where she was. And yeah, we basically lived there, honestly. But I'm jumping. I'm jumping too much. I'm sorry. I tend to do that. I do jump a lot because I have so much stuff in my head, So I kind of talk, but I have no order to talking because it's like whatever pops in my head. I like to just feed into that and then possibly drift back to where I left off. But like I said, worked at the Javits Center, the Jacob Javits Center with Academy buses. That was like my first job, only because my mother's boyfriend was the supervisor. You know, real nice guy though, real nice guy. At the time I probably didn't understand and appreciate, but you a teenager, you becoming a man, or you're just growing up, and you kind of see things different. So you might take things as disrespect. Even though people may mean well, but the deliverance is incorrect. So you may take it as disrespect, a form of disrespect. But that's another story. So to fast forward past that, basically it was a little falling out. As I got older, I started to feel. Now I'm not saying that this is what it is. I'm not saying that this is what it is. This is the truth. This is my truth. This is my truth. That's what I'm saying. This is just from my perspective. I felt as I grew older, my mother kind of pushed me to the side for her boyfriend. Mind you, I have no siblings. I'm the only child. So it was always me and mom like this growing up. But I felt as I got older, mom kind of pushed me to the back and, put her boyfriend in front of me, you know? And that's just my perspective. That don't mean it's the truth. That don't mean that's what happened, but that's just how I viewed it through my eyes. And when that would happen, it would be a little bit of turmoil inside the house, and I wasn't I wasn't getting along. Like I would clash with my mother, and I would also clash with her boyfriend. So when we would clash, they would basically say, well, there's no more work. There's no work. No work today. No work today. No work today. That's what I would get. Honestly, no work today. There's no work. No more work. But everybody else is going to work, but it's no work for me because I'm not dancing to your beat or dancing to your music. Now, keep in mind, this is just from my perspective, so don't take nothing personal. This is just from my perspective. This is how I received it. That doesn't necessarily mean that was the truth, but this is my truth. This is how I received it. So I got tired of dealing with that, you know? I honestly got tired of dealing with that. And I got tired of people telling me when I could work and when I can't work and, basically clocking everything that I make, clocking my tea. You feel me? I got tired of people clocking my tea. And then when I get my check, it's spent before I even decide to do anything because you clocking my tea and you want my money to go here and go there. You feel me? I get it though. You did give me the job, but I did get up every day. I got up every day. I decided to get up every day, every morning, get dressed, go to a job, stand at a post, direct people from different hotels to the buses that they needed to take to get to whatever destination they wanted to go to, whether it was the Javits Center or whether it was the West Side Highway or the Pier, because it would be different shows going on. And this is what I did. I basically directed the people in the right direction. I was a dispatcher. All right. But I got tired of dealing with that. And then come to find out, at the time, I went to Boys and Girls High School. I jumped. I'm sorry, I jumped. But I'm just trying to give you an idea, a grand perspective of everything. I went to Boys and Girls High School. Unfortunately, I didn't graduate. I had to leave high school and get my GED. I didn't really like high school because it was hard, and it's a lame ass excuse, but I didn't really have much growing up. Coming from a single parent home, one person just providing everything. I didn't really have much. So when I was in high school, I didn't have a job. I wasn't working. This is as I got older and would go to a GED program. But I didn't go to school basically because my school was basically a fashion show. I went to Boys and Girls. Like, come on. If you from Brooklyn, like, and you in the style, Boys and Girls, the high. Come on, if you went to Brooklyn and you went to Boys and Girls, right down below, basically the high was a fashion show. You had to be fly, and I was not fly at all. I barely had it. So I would basically, freshman year was cool. Boom. I ain't had no choice but to go as freshman, fresh out of junior high. So you ain't got no choice but to go. You still finding yourself who you are. You becoming yourself as a person, as an individual, what you like, what you don't like. So I went through freshman year, all right? Sophomore year, you kind of feeling yourself a little bit. You kind of finding out who you are as an individual, what type of crew you run with, your character. And then now junior year, boom. Junior year, you really feeling yourself because you already been in there for 3 years, all right? You already know you got one more year before you go to college. You're about to graduate, so you really feeling yourself. Now, me, when I was a junior, I'm going to stop on junior because that was the grade that I decided to leave. All right, I was in there for 3 years. I stayed till junior year, and that was when I decided to leave. I would just basically go to school every morning, meet up with the homies, go to first period because that's how I was. Once you came to school, you went to first period, all right? Then after first period, you would go to homeroom. And then from homeroom, then you would go to second period. So basically, after homeroom, that's it. We tapping out. We done. And we would literally walk out the front door. School safety sitting right there. School safety is sitting right here at the front desk. And we would walk right out the front door. Right out. Right out. And their favorite line was, I already got my education. That was their favorite line. I already got my education. And at the time, it wasn't resonating like, all right, I'm happy. Congratulations, you got your education. Who gives a fuck? I'm about to go get this blunt. You feel me? That's where my mind was. Me and my boys, we leaving. We about to go hit this blunt. We about to go get some weed. We about to get high. We just gonna vibe out. We gonna chill. That's it. That's what it was. But then as I got older, it got corny. You know, it got corny because you see people around you, family and friends, doing the right thing, but everybody got their own timing, so you can't really kick yourself in the back. You know, sometimes you need to go through things in life because everybody got their own lane. You know, just because this one over here doing that, that don't mean that's what you're supposed to do because that's not your lane. That's not your story. I would be compared to my cousins all day by my mother growing up. Like, oh, your cousin doing this, your cousin doing that. Mind you, female cousins. I'm a man. At the time, I was a boy, but I'm a man. And you comparing me to females because we in the same age bracket, but they in this, they doing that. GPA looking like this, they going to that college, you know? That's what I would hear. And that shit just got annoying. Like, all right, I don't give a fuck. Okay, that's her. I'm me. She has two parents. They live in a house. It's just me and you here struggling. You know, like her parents have good jobs, good careers. It's just me and you here struggling. You comparing me to this person and constantly throwing in my face how they doing this and how they doing that, but it's just me and you here struggling. So that's why I didn't go to high school because I didn't really have the things that I wanted. You know, I wasn't looking the way I wanted to look, and that's a lame ass excuse. It's a lame ass excuse, but it's the truth. It's my truth. You know, I was insecure about how I looked, about things I wore on my back to go to school, and that's why I didn't go. So I dropped out, and I had to go for my GED. You know, but it's weird though. It's weird how life works. You know, it's just so weird how life works because, like 50 said, "Damn, homie." In high school, you was the man, homie. The fuck happened to you? Rest in peace, Irv Gotti. No shots to him. But it's just funny how life worked because you could really be in high school and those people that you see, them niggas is always fly. They on the basketball team. They on the football team. They got this. They got that. You feel me? Like, they really doing their thing, you know, at that moment in life, you know? And you like, damn, I wish I had that. Why I ain't got that? You beating yourself up. You kicking yourself in the back. Damn, I wish I had that. But then as time go, you go through your journey in life. You go through your journey, all right? You go through your journey. Everything you go through, your experiences. So you collect all those emotions and all those feelings as you get older. And them same people, no shade to nobody, but them same people you seen in high school that was like, yo, they the shit. Like, real talk, like, y'all niggas is getting busy. Y'all the shit. When you get older, you be like, damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. The fuck happened to you? Real talk. Like, it just full circle come back. Because I literally went through the trenches in high school. Like, I ain't have shit. I'm talking about, like, you know, when them TV shows come on at night and they be like, feed the children, send a dollar here, and it'll feed like 10 families. It was like that for me, you know? Not to that degree, but it was like that. That's how I felt in my head. This is just my perception. This is how I see it. But that's basically how it was. And I'm like, damn, you know? But then I got older, went through my life experiences, and it made me who I am today. And I'm still rambling and I'm still jumping. This story done took 1,000 twists. 1,000 twists. But I don't care because I'm going to edit this and I'm going to make the best of it, you know, because this is my first official video, my first vlog. I'm just getting comfortable with you guys. I'm opening up. I'm not getting too comfortable, but I'm getting comfortable. I'm getting there. I'm getting used to this. This is something that I'm building up, you know? And it feel good though. I'm gonna be honest. It feel real good. So if you out there and you watching this video and you just happen to stumble upon this video and in the back of your mind it's like, damn, that's something that I really want to do. Do it, bro. Like, do it, sis, for real. Like, just do it. Nike, just do it. Because it's just going to sit in your head, and the more it sit in your head, you just going to be like, damn, I should have just did it. Like, I should have just started then. You just have to do it. Pick up the camera, get your mic. If you don't have a mic, it don't even matter what equipment you have. Honestly, equipment means nothing. I'm just gonna let you, I'm gonna say this again. Equipment means nothing. Nothing at all. It doesn't mean shit. You got people that got millions of subscribers and they get millions of views. And this is what they use. A fucking cell phone. All right? A cell phone. Or a regular bullshit camera where it shit look fucking choppy and fuzzy. Excuse my language. But equipment means shit. I'm just gonna let you know that now. Believe me, you could get the best of the best and your videos could still be garbage. You feel me? Take it from one who know. Cause I'm the type of person that I always gotta have the best. Like I might not start with the best, but eventually I'll get there and I'll get the best. But you still have to use it. You still gotta put it to work. You still gotta make it work for you. You invested all this money into this equipment, but you ain't doing nothing with it. And that was my problem. I would just invest. I'm getting drones. I'm getting mics. I'm getting cameras. You know, I'm getting tripods. I'm getting so much stuff. And I'm just investing. I got a whole damn collection. I got enough to make a fucking movie. Honestly, I could do a fucking movie or a podcast in the house. And that shit is just sitting there looking at me. I'm intimidated by it. I'm intimidated by the equipment. I'm scared to touch it. I don't want to use it. So just to let you know, equipment don't mean shit. You could get the job done with the simplest things you have. I see it all day. All day. It ain't about the equipment. It's about the person delivering the message and connecting with the people that's watching. That's what it's about. So I'm just going to throw that out there and say that. But to try to get back on the story where I drifted from for like the maybe 6th or 7th time. High school was tough. Had a falling out with moms and her boyfriend. Got older. Dropped out of high school. Got my GED. Once I got my GED, in the process of getting my GED, my first job that I got myself was IHOP. I used to work at IHOP, downtown Brooklyn on Evans. All right, that thing was 24 hours on Fridays, so it was cool. You know, I was a dishwasher. They called this a combo. I was a combo. You know, I had the little red shirt with the little black hat, black pants, apron, a black apron. It was a cool job. You know, it wasn't the best, but and the money. Oh my gosh. When I got my first check, I was crying. Like I was literally standing next to the dishes in the back, like just crying. Cause I'm like, damn, I came here for like 6 days, 7 days, and my check is only like 200, 250. Because the way they do it is, the way when I worked there, the way they would do it is you would have your hourly rate, your minimum wage, and then the servers that work the floor, what they do is whatever tips they get, it's like they gotta bust down those tips. It's like everybody get a percentage, which kind of sucks for the server because they the ones out there putting in all the work, and that's their tips. But now they gotta break you off from their tips. I don't make the rules. That's just the rules of the company. I don't know, but it sucked. The pay would suck. I went from getting about maybe, I'ma say like $1,000 to 250 every week. You know, it was hard. It hurt. It really did hurt. Like it hurt. That shit killed me. And then my girlfriend at the time, she was pregnant, and I'm like, damn. It was tough. I moved out of my mother's place because the tension was so bad. I had to move out. Like it was bad. We had a big argument. I ended up moving out, and I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, her mother, and her home. And my girlfriend at the time, which is my wife now, She comes from a very big family. Like they're very family oriented. You know, everyone is in the house. Everyone communicates. Everyone gets along. You know, they like to come together and work together. Now, me growing up as a single child, it was like I'm in my room doing my thing, and then mom's is in the room doing her thing. But we still love each other and we still communicate, but we just do our own thing. It's not really too much communication, only when needed. And that was a big difference for me. You know, I wasn't used to being around a whole bunch of people. You know, like that was kind of annoying to me, but you know, that was just a part of the life that I had to go through. That was an experience that I had to go through. You know, thank you, thank you, mom number two. I appreciate that for you allowing me to come into your home, you know, with your family and your children, and allowing us, me, and your daughter, and my unborn child to stay there with you. We appreciate it. We appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I really do. Thank you. Thank you very much. That's just for you. And it was fun though. It was fun, you know, because I already knew the family. Like I knew everybody before. That's another thing. Before we was in a relationship, we were friends. We were friends first. I knew her brother. I knew my wife's brother before I knew my wife. Like we literally played basketball together. We would flip on beds, gymnastics. You know, when you growing up in the hood in the P's, somebody thought a mattress. Oh, it's lit. We gonna pull that thing in the grass or wherever, and we just hitting backflips all day. We running up the wall doing backflips. That's a summertime story right there. That's a summertime story. If you can relate to that, you know what I'm talking about. Ain't nothing like that. Ain't nothing like a summertime story. Nothing. But that's what we did. That's the relationship we had. We were friends. You know, we were friends before we were lovers, you know? But back to the story, my mother-in-law at the time is my girlfriend mother. She allowed me to she welcomed me into her home because me and my mom's was going through turmoil. And we lived with my mother-in-law for about I'm gonna say 6, 7 months. 6, 7 months, you know, and at the time I was working at IHOP, and it was rough. It was rough. It was real rough. Real rough. It was really rough. You know, like I said, hold on, excuse me. Hello. Hey, say hello to the vlog. You hear Avery? That's Avery. That's Avery. That's Avery. Everything okay? All right. Nah, 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 nah. I'm gonna pause the camera. I'm sorry about that. I really apologize. That was my wife calling me. She had to take our son to school today so that way he could get bracing done. He has like TLSO's braces, and he also have a brace for his core slash torso because he has scoliosis. That's another story. One step at a time. We gonna get there. Just hang out with me, vibe with me, and understand me. You know, so that way I can understand you guys. You know, that's what this is about. It's a give take situation. I give you, you take whatever you take from me, and then you give me. You know, you give me back. You write down in the comments. You know, you guys know what to do. You've been doing this for so long, but back to pick up where I left off is Mama Love, my mother-in-law. Thank you again for allowing us to stay there. But yeah, I worked at IHOP. But in the process of me working at IHOP, now my wife, her uncle, he does construction, and I will always see him. You know, when I work for Academy Buses, because he worked at Madison Square Garden, and he also worked at the post office on 34th Street in that same area. You know, with who was he with at the time? I think he was with Turner. Turner's a good company. You know, I know that from experience, but you know, we'll get there. He was working with Turner Construction. That's one of the big companies up there. You know, and I will always ask him, "Yo, put me on, put me on, put me on," and he was like, "Nah, Mel, nah. Go to school, finish school. You don't want to be doing this." And my uncle, he would also say the same thing because my uncle is 731. You know, he's retired too. They would always say, nah, you don't want to do this. Go to school, go to school. And I'm like, nah, y'all getting money. Like, put me on. But I understand now where they're coming from because with life, you got to go through things in order to understand what people mean and, what they say. You really have to experience it sometime. That's why they say experience is the best teacher, you know? Because when I was working at IHOP, I also applied for his union, you know, and did my interview, went down there, and still working at IHOP, but always wanted more. It's all about growth and elevating, you know. And I was one of the best workers that they had. Not to be tooting my horn at IHOP, but like, if you worked with me at IHOP and you just happen to see this video, shout out to my man Junior, the manager. Good dude, good dude. Met a lot of cool people, you know. If you know me, you know me, and you know I get busy. Not to be trying to brag, but I get busy. Like, I really do. If you know me, you know. But they was really sad to see me go. Like, I worked there for 3 months. It was either 3 or 4 months I worked there. You know, my daughter was born, and my wife and I would go back and forth to the hospital. I remember those days, man. It was hard. It was hard. Like, it was really a struggle. We would have we would have one. Listen to this. We would have one. This is when you know you got a real one, all right? You ain't gonna find this today. And if you do find this today, you better hold on to it. We would have one unlimited Metro card. Coming and going. She swipe first. She go through. You know when you use an unlimited, you gotta wait a couple of minutes before you got another swipe. You probably gotta wait like about 10 or 12 minutes. We would literally sit at the subway station, talk, laugh, joke, with everything we going through. Our daughter in the NICU, struggling, but making it happen and making the best of it. We really made the best of our situation, and it was hard as hell, but we made it happen. You know, and we would sit there, and by the time you know it, boop, time for me to swipe. We done probably already missed like 3 or 4 trains, and then we finally get to go up to the platform and catch the train that we done missed 4 or 5 times. And then your head, you probably like, yo, I would have just hopped over that shit. I get it. But you got to remember, when you already dealing with a fucked up hand, you already been dealt a fucked up hand. Your hand is fucked up. You don't want to add more fuckery to that hand. If it ain't one thing, it's another growing up. If it ain't one thing, it's another. So you already got your messed up circumstances that you dealing with, and to add to that, you want to now jump the turnstile, and then possibly, they always be having the NYPD undercovers standing around acting like they RNs, thirsty and shit, like they always is, and they always will be. No disrespect to the NYPD, but I'm just calling it how I feel. I ain't feel like dealing with that. Bad enough I'm already a black man. I'm black. We already born with a strike against you. Once you're born with this color, you already look like a bad guy. And this is just my opinion, so don't take nothing personal. I'm just speaking from my opinion and my experiences throughout life, But yeah, we waited there for about 10 or 11 minutes. We both got on. We would take the L train at Sutter Avenue, which is in Brownsville. We would take the L train to, I believe it was 14th Street, Union Square. And then we would transfer to something and take it to 96th Street up here in Manhattan. We would take it to 96th Street, and then we would walk up 96 past Park and then get to Madison. And then we would go and we would make a right on Madison and into the hospital. Like, we would walk a couple of blocks down, and the hospital would be right there. And we would go to, I believe it was the 3rd floor for the NICU, because I know labor and delivery is on the 2nd floor. So we would go to the 3rd floor, yeah. This was the old NICU, too. Not the new NICU they have now. The old NICU. So if you've been to the old NICU in Mount Sinai, it was a long hallway with double doors where you push the button, and the people that would sit at the front desk, they was cool, but the hallway was so long that when you would walk through the hallway, they'll be like, "All right, baby girl Thomas parents coming," because they see you walking. So by them saying that, baby girl Thomas or baby girl whatever or baby boy Thomas, they know the parent is coming. So whoever was the nurse for that child, they would run over there real quick and make sure everything is on point, ones and twos, baby good, diaper clean, and then you'll just come in and hang out with your child. I remember those days. I really do remember those days. Those were some days, man, and we would sit there all day. Like we would do double shifts with the nurses. So we would see one group of nurses when we first got there. By the time we leaving, that nurse that was there when we first arrived is already gone. It's the second nurse there for the night shift, and then by the time we leaving, she going home too. So that just goes to show you how much time we spent there with our daughter. And she was inside a little isolette, and I remember her just having like a little blue light over her and like these little black fabric shades that look like Ray-Bans. They was cute, very cute. I remember those days, man. But those days was not easy, not easy. And me and my girlfriend, which is my wife now, will go through things, and you know the other man, like spiritually, I believe in Jesus Christ, but spiritually, the other man, he always trying to just throw things at you to try to make you, tear your family apart, or just basically he's always just trying to tear families apart. That's his job. Families, friends. His job is to steal, kill, and destroy. That's what he lived for every single day. And that's what he would try to do between us. We will always, go at it because our circumstances is already tough. Financially, that's already tough. And living situation is already tough. So it's like you stuck between a rock and a hard place, honestly. But we prayed and we still got through it. We had our moments where we didn't really communicate and we would, really be mad at each other. But we still got through it, and we did it with a smile. And we didn't allow anyone on the outside to even know what we was dealing with internally. But I must admit, I remember there would be days and times where my wife would go during the day and she would hang out with our daughter, and then when she would come home and I know she's on her way home, that's when I would leave, so that way I don't have to see her when she get in, and she don't have to see me, and then I'll go to the hospital and hang out with our daughter. You know, I remember those days. Take pictures, dress her up, brush her hair. You know, I remember those days. Emily, I love you. I really do. But like I said before, our daughter was in the NICU for about 4 months. You know, she was born at the time with the unknown neuromuscular disorder. That was what it was labeled as, a unknown neuromuscular disorder. Yep. And then she went for a muscle biopsy. They did the muscle biopsy on her right leg, like her right leg, like by her calf. I'll never forget. And we still didn't get a name as of what it was, what the condition was, genetics. We still had no name. And when she went for the muscle biopsy, they gave her general anesthesia. All right. So remember that, general anesthesia. General anesthesia. Remember that. And then once that happened, everything started to go downhill. You know, her body was retaining a lot of fluid. She was real puffy. You know, they would have to give her some type of medication so that way she could use the bathroom and try to urinate it out, because she was just retaining so much fluid, and she was really puffy. And I remember one night, me and my wife, but at the time she was my girlfriend, we got a call, and my wife had just left it in the night before, but we got a call in the middle of the night. The doctor was like, "Listen, mom, dad, listen, you guys need to get here now. You really do need to get here now." We knew it was serious. So we jumped up. I think we took a taxi. I think I'm not 100% sure, but I think we took a taxi. I would hope we took a taxi, but most likely 9 out of 10 times we took the train because it was rough. It was hard. It felt like we got there in a taxi because that's just how the Holy Spirit works. We got there, and it was a Chinese doctor. I don't really remember his name, but he's a really nice guy, really nice guy. He explained to us like, hey, listen, your daughter's having a hard time. She's retaining a lot of fluid. You know, it was something called chylothorax. So basically, like I guess she had a lot of fluid in her lungs, and she was so swollen and puffy that they weren't even able to give her an IV on her arm, her foot, or her leg. They had to give her the IV in her head. She had like they cut a little bit of hair off her scalp, and they had the IV there. That way they could give her whatever she needed. And I'll never forget the smell of a is it's a strong odor, like a hospital smell. And she was just sitting there. She didn't look like she was uncomfortable or feeling any pain. She was just there relaxing. you know it was tough, it was hard. My wife and I was there. um my wife's sister, her siblings, her mother, my I believe it was my aunt, my mother too. I believe they came. Everybody came up to the hospital, you know. But I'll never forget the moment. It's like we was listening and watching her heart rate on the pulse oximeter, and it was just gradually dropping, dropping. And then once Crystal came in, which is my wife's older sister, once she came in and just joined in the group, that's when it just flatlined, as if she waited for all of her loved ones to be there, you know? Because she met Crystal before, before it got to that point. Crystal came up, hung out with us, took pictures, did her hair, brushed her hair. Like it's beautiful. But I never forget that. And at that time, I think I had just got into the union. I left IHOP and I had just got in. I was about to start. I was about to start. I wasn't in yet. I was about to start because I remember my start date for my first class was the day we took our daughter to get cremated. I remember that. And I missed my first day of class and they tried to kick me out. And in order for me to start the class with the same group, I had to bring the obituary of my daughter to Long Island City, Queens, to the Union School, so that way I could start and they could excuse me for that. In which they did. And I'm gonna be completely honest, like that was not easy. The way they make it seem like on TV when people would give birth to kids and have families, they make it seem like a fairy tale. That was the scariest day in my life. It really was. I remember when our daughter was born and they rushed her from the OR to the NICU area, and my wife was still in recovery. So I'm always the first person to see our children because our wives, our ladies have to, not ladies because I don't have multiple ladies, but our other half have to go to recovery, because that's a big procedure. But I'll never forget the feeling of just being scared to go see her, and I was scared. This is our first child. Things didn't go as planned the way we assumed they would go. It was a lot, and I don't even think I had a cell phone at the time. So it's like I'll never forget this lady. I forget her name. I think her name was Marilyn. She worked at Mount Sinai on labor and delivery on I believe it was the second floor. Beautiful, beautiful woman. Beautiful woman. This lady gave me her cell phone. She seen the pain. She seen so much pain in me. She seen so much pain in me. She gave me her personal cell phone. No pin, no nothing. No pin, no code, no nothing. And she said, baby, go ahead, go make a phone call. Talk to whoever you need to talk to. And my wife was in recovery, but at the time she was my girlfriend. She was in recovery. Our daughter was on the third floor in the NICU, and I went outside and went directly across the street to the little benches where Central Park is. And I went out there and I called my mother and I explained to her what was going on, and it was just scary and new to me, you know. And I cried on the phone. I just literally just cried there, you know, because I was excited, but I was also scared because I didn't know what to expect, like what we was getting into. And yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. So then I went in and gave the lady back her phone. I gave her a hug. I said, "Thank you so much for allowing me to do that." Like at that moment, I didn't know who I wanted to talk to, but I just know that I needed to talk to somebody because it was so much in my head at that moment. I needed to get it out because if I didn't get it out, my mind was all over the place. But to fast forward that, to go past that a little bit, I'm just going to say when you lose a family member or a child or anybody close to you daily, you don't ever forget about them or get over that. They always stay here with you. They always stay there. So you think about them every single day. There's something that's going to remind you about that loved one every single day. So for those who may not have experienced that, and I don't want anyone to experience that, of losing a child or a loved one, I don't want anyone to experience that. But just to let you know, just to give you a heads up, you don't ever forget about that or stop thinking about that person or that individual. I just need to let you know that. I need to let somebody know that. Just for reassurance. So that way I'm letting you know that because when we're here, appreciate who you have. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate everybody you have in your life around you. Appreciate them while they are here. Because there's nothing like not being able to hear that person's voice or shooting them a text message on the phone or just seeing them in general. Appreciate everybody you have while they're here. Make sure you do everything you want to do with them and let them know how you feel because you're going to feel real guilty and real bad when that time comes and you never really express how you felt to that person or what you thought about them, you know? So I just say that to say make sure you appreciate people while they're here because nothing is promised for any of us. Nothing. It could be here today and literally gone tomorrow. I just needed to say that cuz that message right there was for somebody. You know, I don't know who, but it was for somebody. But back to what I was saying. Yeah, I'll never forget that day. Never. The day she was born and the day she left us. I'll never forget those 2 days. And I'm gonna be completely honest. It was hard to deal with. Like I'm gonna be honest. I'm not trying to influence anyone, but I'm just giving you my truth. I would drink every day. Every day I would try to drink the pain away. Try to drink it away. To try to like forget about it, but you don't forget about it. You don't forget about it. You got to learn to accept it and keep taking steps in the right direction and pray. That's another thing. Pray. Prayer helps. You talk to your father, not your biological father, but spiritually, you talk to your father, your Lord, your Savior, whatever your Savior is. If you have a Savior, and even if you don't, it's not too bad or too late to consider receiving a Savior. You talk to our Father, Lord Jesus Christ, and you let Him know what you going with, what you dealing with internally. Just give it all to Him. Give it all to Him. Let Him have it. and he helps you every single day. Every single day he helps you and allow you to get through whatever you're dealing with every single day. Honestly, because I'm sure it's people like, even you guys dealing with whatever you're dealing with throughout your days. And sometimes you look back at life and be like, I don't know how I did that, but you did it. And he was with you every step of the way, right beside you. You didn't see him. You didn't see him, but spiritually, he was right there every single step of the way with you. And you got through that. And you will continue to get through it. I'm just going to say that. That's another message for somebody. I don't know who it's for, but that's another message for somebody, you know? But I'm not going to talk you guys' ears off too much. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. I'm kind of hungry because, like I said, I went to Queens earlier today and I had a procedure done. They gave me an injection on my lower back, so I literally can't feel my ass right now. No diddy. And I didn't have anything to eat since yesterday. So I'm just gonna stop the video here. I'm get me something to eat. I don't know what I'm gonna eat, but I want it to be healthy. I really want it to be healthy. I have some yogurt in there with some chia seeds and some type of, I'm not sure, like a some type of grain. I have healthy food in there. My wife and I, we've been trying to eat very healthy, you know. But I don't want to talk your ears off too much. Like I said before, I appreciate it if you made it this far. This is something that I want to do every so often. I don't know, every day, every other day. You gotta let me know. You gotta let me know what you think, how you feel about this, and if you experience anything close to what I've have experienced. And I just want everybody to have a blessed weekend. Stay safe, cause we living in some crazy times right now. So you gotta stay safe. Ain't no telling what could happen. These are some crazy times. But once again, I appreciate you all. I'll catch you guys on the next one, and we could pick up where we left off, or I could go into detail about something else, But I didn't really dig too deep, but I kind of cracked the surface a little bit. Like I said, we have 3 children total. I mainly just told you about our daughter Emily right now, that will be 13 years old, and we have a 6-year-old son named Avery that's here with us now, and he also have a big brother named Jamel Jr. that would be 12 years old. But like I said, thank you once again. Stay blessed, everybody. Love you guys, and I'm out of here. And thank you again for vibing with JT. Peace.